Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Straight ahead tonight, could an asteroid hit the Earth within our lifetime? Astronomers say it could happen.
Plus, a local hospital loses a service that it needs for business.
And everyone can feel our top story tonight by just stepping outside. It is definitely cold out there. Good evening, everyone. You know, last week's warm temperatures made many of us think spring was just around the corner. But now Mother Nature is making us think again. Well,
the mercury is taking a dip. Temperatures are hovering right above freezing. And Don Slater is standing by in your Super Doppler 10 Weather Center. Don, you told me this cold weather, hopefully is on its way out, yes?
Well, it is on its way out, but we've still got tonight to live through, and this should be the coldest night that we've seen so far, probably in the past 13 months or so. So again, very, very cold weather is out there. Here's a look at the 5 o'clock readings throughout the area. Some 40s into North Carolina, but mainly 35 to 40 degrees throughout the entire area. Some parts of the area only making it up to around the freezing point. And tonight, we'll see some temperatures, some inland readings toward Suffolk, toward Franklin, on toward Ivor, etc. Some of those readings could drop into the upper teens, most of us dropping into the low 20s, near record lows for this date. So again, stay tuned. We'll have the cold forecast just a few minutes. Stay with us.
All right, thanks a lot, Don.
Thanks.
You know, efforts to stay warm ended tragically in Norfolk after fire forced 5 people out on the street.
It happened around 4 o'clock this morning in the 800 block of Marshall Avenue. Fortunately, everybody did escape this blaze, but as Crystal Meacham tells us, a little bit of caution could have prevented the ordeal.
The 2-story boarding house looked more like a burning inferno as flames spewed from the roof. 2 people were inside at the time. The sound of the wood burning woke Wayman Golden just in the nick of time.
Well, I heard a crackling sound this morning around 4 o'clock, and I thought maybe some people were just rumbling around upstairs.
But nothing could have been further from the truth. Luckily, Golden and his housemate escaped the blaze. The flames leaped so high they licked the house next door, forcing a family of 3 to evacuate into the cold air. Fire officials say the blaze was sparked by a kerosene heater. Apparently, it was too close to some flammable contents in a back bedroom. Fire officials offer these common sense tips to keep this from happening to you.
Just follow the instructions that come with the heaters that are packaged with them. If you follow them, you'll be safe. The big thing, again, is just being very cautious. Being in the room with the heater, make sure you're there. It's just like a fireplace. Never leave a fireplace unattended. Never leave a heater or a space heater unattended.
Managers at a local hardware store admit that as the temperature drops, the sale of space and kerosene heaters goes up. But they add, it's best to be warm and safe than sorry. And even as the city demolishes this boarding house, the fire is surely something that will be forever implanted in the minds of those who used to live here. A reminder that things could have turned out much worse.
I'm just happy that no one was injured. Everyone made it out safely. And even though we lost some material things, I'm sure they can be replaced.
In Norfolk, I'm Crystal Meacham for WAVY News 10.
And since the weather is expected to stay chilly for the next couple of days, 10 on Your Side wants to remind you of some space heater safety tips. Now, keep your heater away from flammable materials. Also, make sure you're using the proper fuel. You should always use kerosene and not gasoline, and you should have your space heater serviced once a year.
Well, the cold weather is taking its toll on many who spend time outside today. And as nighttime approaches, we all know it will be getting even colder out there. Today, Steve Kearns hit the street to see how local folks are handling this chill. He continues our team coverage now of the cold weather live at the Hilton Village section of Newport News. Steve, just how cold is it?
Well, Alvita, Don Slater hit it right on the head when he said between 35 and 40. If you take a look at this bank clock behind us, the thermometer on it says 38 degrees. Now, I can tell you it feels a whole lot colder out here. We were out here earlier this morning when the temperatures were around the high 20s. They're expected to get into the same sort of thing tonight. That is an unusual story for March in these parts. Now, while it's nothing like what they're experiencing in the Midwest, it's more than enough cold for people here.
Out here like this, I think this might be the coldest day we had, all winter long, as far as cold and wind chill factor.
And mail carriers like Ernie Clark know these things, right? What's that slogan?
Rain, sleet, night, or however it goes.
Most we talked with today are not enjoying the cold and wind, especially those who have to be outside.
Mother Nature don't know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 1 minute it's warm, next minute it's cold. But I got to do what I got to do, so.
You can see some effects of the recent cold, especially in blooming flowers. Coats, hats, and gloves are clearly the attire of the day.
It don't bother me much. I'm bundled up. My hands are cold, but that's about it.
Cold weather like this can also have an effect on a business climate. For example, here in Hilton Village, there's an ice cream shop where things are a little slow today because of the cold, but up the road where they're selling coffee, things are heating up.
Well, we've got 3 layers under the coat, gloves, scarf, and a blanket that we took in the coffee shop with us so it would be warm when we came back out.
This line outside a gift shop this morning stretched 25 long, with some noticeably underdressed. All for what?
To get some Beanie Babies. I know it's crazy, but anyway.
But hardest to believe for most is how much the temperatures have dropped since Monday.
It's like being in the Bahamas compared to today. It was nice, now it's cold.
Now, strangely enough for me, I was out here 9 months ago standing in front of this very same thermometer where it said 103 degrees. It's just funny to watch how things can really change, especially temperatures. We'll be staying with it and have more for you tonight at 5:30. Back to you.
Big difference. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Had to get those Beanie Babies.
Oh, yes.
All right. In other news, the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters has its phone service up and running again. But for a few hours this morning, parents and patients had no way to contact anyone at the hospital. Officials believe a corroded pipe leaked water into the telecommunications room, wiping out all of the hospital's phone service. But during the outage, an emergency phone line was opened.
10 on your side now as the answer to one of the shoppers' biggest questions tonight, at least a partial answer. Today, developers and city officials announced the first wave of tenants for the MacArthur Center. 50 retailers are locked up for the upscale shopping mall in downtown Norfolk. 30 are brand new to the area. Among them, Aldo Shoes, Cachet Women's Wear, 9 West, and Benetton. But MacArthur officials say that they're just as concerned about the retailers' books as they are their unique merchandise.
So we don't want to offer to the shopping public here retailers that are only going to be around for 6 months. So we're as concerned as you would be about their financial strength.
And what about the financial strength of business that are already established in downtown Norfolk? Well, tonight at 6, Shelley Harrell will tell us how business owners feel about the developing MacArthur Center. Miami police are pleading for the public's help tonight.
And that story tops news across the nation. Now, the police are trying to track down 2 robbery suspects, and this is surveillance video of one of those heists when they ripped off a supermarket. Police say the 2 have been on a crime spree that began back in 1996.
Pretty soon it will be easier for parents to keep tabs on their children's TV habits. Federal regulators approved a TV rating system today. Since last fall, many networks have voluntarily aired ratings during the first 15 seconds of a program. NBC does not. The FCC only reviews the ratings used. It does not force broadcasters to use them.
It allows parents to turn off programs that they believe are harmful, whether they're at home, at work, at a PTA meeting, at a Saturday night movie. It will not be a substitute for parents, but it will help them be better parents.
The FCC also took action today concerning the long-talked-about V-chip blocker. That's a chip that will let you decide what programs you want to block out. Find out when it will be available on WAVY News 10 tonight at 5:30.
This will be the scene once again in San Francisco later this month. Another mass gay wedding is planned. This is video of a ceremony that took place 2 years ago when more than 150 couples exchanged vows. The city says that it wants to reaffirm its commitment to gay marriage. Mayor Willie Brown and other city leaders will preside over the wedding planned for March 25th.
It's the kind of story Sunday night movies are made of, but this time it may be true. Scientists are predicting an asteroid will come dangerously close to the Earth in the year 2028. But that's not all. Get this, they say a direct hit is not completely out of the question.
If it strikes on land, it wipes out a region, maybe the size of a city, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little bigger, and then there is some collateral damage, dust storms, things of that kind.
Other scientists say it could produce a crater 20 miles wide and strong earthquakes. Now, here's a closer look at the asteroid's path. The distance from the moon to Earth is some 240,000 miles, but the asteroid may come much closer. Calculations predict within 30,000 miles of Earth. The asteroid is being called 1997 XF11. Astronomers say it's impossible to know the odds of an impact with Earth.
I guess we're kind of lucky because the coldest part will happen when we're supposed to be in bed anyway, right?
Yes. However, we've had an unusually warm winter, so lots of trees and flowers are budding and lots of fruits are budding as well. So much of that could be destroyed because it's going to be a solid freeze again tonight. In fact, the coldest night that we've had probably in about 13 months. Let's go right to it. Have a look at what's going on out there right now. I look at earlier today. Sun shining through this lantern. Right now, clear skies. In Norfolk, it's 37. Newport News reporting in with 37 degrees as well. We tip the scales at 38 degrees for a high temperature today. So again, it's been a chilly one. Temperatures at 5 o'clock, 35 to 40, some 40s on down into North Carolina. That's the same high temperatures we had yesterday. However, our nighttime low temperature was even colder last night. It was 28 the night before last, 25 last night. Could drop down to around 22 throughout most of the area overnight tonight. We'll show you that with the forecast in just a second. Here's a look at the sunrise to sunset hours. And again, you can see nary a cloud out there during the daylight hours. In terms of the National Weather Service radar out of Wakefield, Virginia, again, nothing much going on. Skies are clear. Let's have a quick look at Super Doppler 10. Again, skies are clear. We did have the possibility of a few flurries last night. You would have had to have gotten up around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you probably would have even seen it. Back to the computer. I'll look at what we're expecting between tonight at 9 o'clock all the way on into actually Saturday at 8 o'clock. High pressure dominating our weather, and again, that cold high pressure will hang in overnight tonight. We'll show you how things will be moving on into Saturday again. We'll continue to see that hang on, but a cold front approaching our area. Our winds will begin to slacken on off, and by Saturday we'll see that cold front approach, and again it'll move on through Saturday night into Sunday. Clear and cold overnight tonight, very cold as a matter of fact, 20 to 25 throughout most of the Hampton Roads area. However, anywhere inland tonight, even Suffolk and Franklin, 18 to 20 degrees. Most of us in the Hampton Roads area around 20, 22 degrees. A little bit warmer tomorrow. On into tomorrow night, definitely warmer, 35 to 38, and then Saturday, definitely warmer, 55 to 60. We'll see our winds increase out of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Again, tonight, the coldest night that we've had in quite some time, a very killing frost overnight tonight.
Okay.
So stay inside if you
can.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Seems we got heavy traffic in Hampton Roads. We're going to take a look at our WAVY traffic jam cam.
And over at Metro Traffic is Chrissy Russo. Chrissy, what's up today?
Thanks, Charles and Alvita. Heavy traffic, especially through the construction zones 264 East and westbound, and on 64 East and West up on the peninsula. First, let's take a look at our WAVY jam cam shot. Here's a shot 64 westbound on the on-ramp to 44 East. Everybody's moving along nicely, though we did just have a breakdown with the tractor trailer there. Our next one, 64 East of the Twin Bridges. Look at that, everybody's moving along nicely. Looks like we got a breakdown there westbound, not in the way of traffic. Over at our maps, the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel eastbound traffic is very heavy, but luckily everyone's moving along fine, steady westbound. And just a heads up, slow moving traffic, 64 west and eastbound, but especially westbound between J. Clyde and Victory. No accidents, our airborne just tells us, just tight traffic through the construction. Over at the Midtown and the downtown tunnels, we've got heavy but steady traffic in both directions with no major backups. I'm Chrissy Russo, Metro Traffic Control, WAVY News 10 at 5.
Thank you, Chrissy.
And still ahead, 10 on your side tracks down a contractor that left before finishing a job.
One Gates County woman says the bricklayer she hired to get her carport fixed didn't stack up. I'm Chris Caswell. That story's coming up on WAVY News 10 at 6.
I'm Andy Fox down at Chesapeake City Hall. Coming up on today's Road Rebels, the hassles of parking at Chesapeake City Hall. I'll have that story coming up on WAVY News 10 at 6.
Plus, are you giving your sick child the right dose of medicine? Many parents aren't, and it can be dangerous. Coming up, we'll tell you the foolproof way to measure medicine.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5. With Alvita Ewell, Charles Pugh, Don Slater in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center, and Bruce Waiters Sports.
First, there was a drop in cancer deaths.
Now there is a decline in the number of people getting cancer. And Carolyn Castleberry has more in tonight's health headlines. Carolyn.
Charles and Alvita, the American Cancer Society, says the number of people who got cancer between 1990 and 1995 dropped 0.7%. This is the first time this century that there's been a decline in the number of people who have cancer. Doctors say there are several reasons for this, such as improved lifestyles and better therapies. Also, people can cut their chances of getting cancer by eating right, getting exercise, and of course, avoiding tobacco. Did you know there is an effective, less expensive alternative to many types of surgery? It's called interventional radiology, and this non-invasive treatment can be even more successful than the surgical alternative. And since it requires less hospitalization, it can cost about 30% less. Angioplasties are just one type of procedure that can be done through interventional radiology. A new study shows that parents aren't always sure just how much over-the-counter medicine to give to their sick children. It can be very confusing and very dangerous. Your family doctor, David Maisel, sorts it all out.
Does your ears hurt?
Yes. Not quite 2 years old, little Aaron Hedgeman has an ear infection and fever. The kitchen cabinet is full of a confusing assortment of over-the-counter medicines.
They're not labeled for Aaron's weight and age, and I take a guess at it.
Even when the bottles have labels with weight, age, and dose, a new study shows 6 out of 10 parents don't give the right amount.
These medications can have significant side effects, especially if they're not used properly.
The first step is to know what your child weighs. That's important because weight changes frequently in the early years. Next, read the label carefully, including any warnings. If it isn't clear how much to give, pick up the phone.
A call to the physician if there's any question is of vital importance.
Know how to measure medicine. Sounds simple, but a teaspoon doesn't mean a spoon from the kitchen drawer. Instead, use a medicine syringe or cup that has clear, precise measurements.
And you go exactly up to the 1 teaspoon line. That's 5.
Still confused? Then ask your child's doctor to show you. Getting it right can mean the difference between a well child and a sick child, or even one who gets a dangerous overdose. For WAVY TV 10, this is your Centera family doctor, David Maisel.
And studies show that parents who get a demonstration of the right measuring device in the doctor's office will show a great improvement in accuracy. Time for tonight's student body question.
Hello, my name is Maurice Griffin from River Road Middle School, and I'd like to know, by what age would the sense of smell begin to decline?
Watch for the answer coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Carolyn.
Still ahead, after 16 years of service, one of Virginia's favorite kids is leaving the Navy for good. We'll tell you why tonight at 6.
Plus, you may not be able to control what programs are on the air, but you can control what your children watch even when you're not at home. We'll tell you how at 5:30.
You're watching the station on your side. This is WAVY News 10 at 5.
Guess what?
What?
It is time now for a 5 o'clock sports report. And with all the high school and college playoff highlights, here is TV 10 sports director, my favorite, Bruce Ray.
Well, now, Bruce, you know, I understand that March Madness has started, but I understand also that a local girls basketball team saw some tournament action today.
That's right, Alvita. The Princess Anne High School girls basketball team had a fantastic season. Unfortunately, it came to an end in the semifinals of the state championship tournament today as they lose to Garfield 68-44. But let me take you to scope and show you these brave girls. Princess Anne's in the red. Nice steal here by Shamika Rogers as she gets the ball to Shalarice Grant. Grant puts in for 2. O'Keisha Howard with 20 points tonight for Princess Anne. Here's a nice move by Rogers. She gets the scoop move to fall. But unfortunately, the season ends for Princess Anne as they lose to Garfield 68-44. Tonight, the boys semifinals at Scope and Hampton High School. The defending state champions will be representing Hampton Roads in the state semifinals tonight. Hampton High School led by Bobby Blizzard and Ronald Curry, as Hampton is doing a great job as we move things up here. There we go. Hampton 25-2. Curry, the National Player of the Year, as they open up tonight against a Potomac team that won 24 of their 27 games. They're led by 6'1" sophomore Cliff Hawkins. Okay, NCAA action today. Let's go right to the scoreboards. We'll show you what happened. First round of the NCAA. Here's the upset of the day. 14th seeded Richmond, the Giant Killer again, as they knock off 3rd seeded South Carolina 62-61, as Xavier comes back and loses to Washington 69-68, although that was a very close game. UNC over Navy today. The number 1 seed Carolina expected to win. UNCC wins again. Maryland with a victory over Utah State 82-68, 82-52. West Virginia over Temple. That was a bit of a surprise. And Connecticut had to come up from behind to win 65-62 over Northern Arizona. I'll have more highlights and more tournament news on Wavy News 10 at 5:30. I'm Bruce Rader. Don't go away.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Well, the list is out. MacArthur Center announced what stores will be in the new mall.
It's only 1 year away from opening, but we got a sneak peek inside the brand new MacArthur Center. Stay tuned to see exactly what it looks like coming up on Wavy News 10.
Plus, Hampton Roads is not the only area bundling up in the cold weather. Tonight at 5:30, we'll take you around the country where temperatures are dipping well below freezing.
But first, the answer to tonight's student body question.